let's have a little bit of a play with the gears. So, yeah, you can, now because it's not synchro mesh, it's a constant mesh, you might need to move the bike backward and forward a little bit, let the clutch out, and just play with the gears up and down. So down in first, so under and push up, and you rock the bike a little bit.
Okay.
I'll turn this on so you can see the gears, and just play with the gears, push, push up. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and again, and again. Yep, rocking the bike backward and forwards, and down. Okay, now there's one very important thing with gears. You need to be methodical with your gears because they're constant mesh. Now, I won't go deep into the theory, but basically, if you just tap the gear, it may not correctly go into gear all the way. It might be half in, half out. And then when you accelerate and pressure is applied to the gear mechanism, it can push the gear out. And you end up not in one gear, not in another gear, but in between. We call this false neutral. In Europe, in England, it's called angel gear. Because you fuck up that gear, and the next thing you hope to see is an angel, rather than something more. Okay? The reason it's got that name is that people would mess up gear changes when they're in a hurry. Generally, people on a motorbike are in a hurry when they're doing an overtake. Generally, they change gear on an overtake when they've messed up the planning. So they're accelerating, they're passing a car, they realise they haven't got enough oomph. They change gear because they say, shit, there's a car coming. They screw up the gear and they've got nothing. And then bang. Okay, because they don't have the power, they've committed to going in front. It's too late to hit the brakes and go back in, and they don't have any power to go ahead. So what happens if you just with the gear lever, I'll demonstrate here, pretend this is the gear lever. If you just go tap, it can go in and not quite in. So when you do the gear lever, you push it to go into gear and you hold it. And then when the clutch is out, then the pressure comes off. So the sequence is throttle off and clutch in, either all the way in or a little bit in, depending on your experience. The gear lever to the gear you want. You hold it on the gear lever, the clutch comes out, and then the foot off the gear lever. Two things that helps. One is that it helps with the planning. You're not rushing the gear. You're thinking, you're planning, you're being boring, you're being pedantic. Okay? That means it's not gear at the last moment. That's the benefit. The other benefit is that you make sure the gear is secure, and at that point in time, it won't spit out when you most need it. It might spit out later, but that's okay. It won't be in a pressure situation. Now, if it does happen that the gear hasn't quite gone in correctly, the clutch is out, and then you take your foot off the gear lever, what will happen is that when you go to change gear next, the gear will be floppy. And then it goes click, you let the clutch out, and you realise you haven't changed gear. All it's done is seated itself correctly. So you get used to that, and then you go one day, you feel it's floppy, and you just go click, click, and then that's for later. Any questions?
No, I was trying to reach the gear. The one, because after the first gear there is neutral.
Correct.
And then second, right?
Right. Now what happened, the gears will act differently if the engine's running and the engine's off. If the engine is off, it's easy to knock it out of first into neutral if the engine's off. But if the engine's running, it's hard to put it into neutral.
Okay.
So what we'll do here, you can see that you're in
Neutral.
you're in neutral, and you can rock the bike a little bit, push it up into second.
Yeah.
Yep, and you're up into second. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just put a little bit of pressure down. You're not trying to change into first. You just want to knock it out of second into neutral.
Okay.
There you go.